everyone. Morning, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar today. This is Judy, the Vice President of Kiloview. Thank you for joining us. Our webinar today is going to be very informative, and actually there will be two topics which are both exciting. The first is for all your concerns about the P-series, and the second is to unveil the new products we're going to show at IBC. As you might have noticed, we recently upgraded the P-series with some improvements, and actually ever since we launched the product, it's attracted quite a lot of the attentions and the feedbacks. We really appreciate all your concerns for Kiloview. And today, I'm just going to explore a little bit more of the product and answer some of the questions that you might be interested to know. So let's start. First, let's look at our agenda for today. First, I will introduce you give you a brief introduction about the P-series, talking about the general information, the working mechanism, and also the frequently asked questions. And then we will have a live demo to be connected, and you will see how everything works. And then I will also share you some information of the products we are going to demo at IBC. They are all amazing. And during the presentation, you can share us some of your applications with our P-series or any of your Kiloview products, and just feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A window, and our people will answer your questions. And of course, we will have the Q&A section, then we can talk about all those questions. And actually, between the P-series and the IBC products, we will also send out 2 rounds of giveaways. The first round will be 3 units of the C1 minis, the SDI to HDMI converter, and the second round would be the P2. So there will be great chances to win the free giveaways, and just stay with us. Okay, then probably let's just go back to the P-series. Okay, let me get my P-series. I believe you probably are very familiar with our P-series. You know, this is a product we designed 4 or 5 years ago. And actually, we have 2 models, the P1 with SDI and the P2 with HDMI. Both can support up to 1080p 60 video inputs. You know, the idea when we design this product is just trying to provide customers an encoder that can do the streaming anytime, anywhere. So we have 2 4G SIM card slots, and with the 2 USB ports plus Wi-Fi, altogether we can support up to 5 channels of network bonding. And we have the built-in battery to power up the P-series, which means, you know, we can move around without any cables. And, you know, the capacity of the battery can support up to 3 to 5 hours streaming without any problem. And in order to keep it working outdoor, we also have the internal cooling fan to make sure it can work continuously without overheat. And here, the overall size of the P-series itself is quite small, with the weight less than 400 grams, including the battery. So it's very portable. And just for your information, you know why we name it P-series. P represents portable. And there will also be a TF card here, TF card slot here, so we can even support recording. So this is not only an encoder but also a recorder. Functions like streaming simultaneously to different platforms using different protocols, either mainstream or substream, and also we support functions like intercom function together with our KI system, and all the other functions are all supported. So this is also a very powerful product. it can work with either the single network connections as a kind of wireless encoder, or if you enable the Kilolink server, then it can also support 5 channels of the network aggregation to guarantee the stable and reliable transmission. And the unique feature of our P series is, we can provide you the Kilolink server, and you can host your own bonding server. It's self-deployable, and it's totally free without any subscription cost. So after you setting up the Kilolink server, you can easily register the P series and also streaming using either RTMP for live or SRT for remotes. And then even you can check the status of all the units connecting to the Kilolink server remotely, managing the devices, upgrading the firmware. So all the functions will be supported. And when we talk about Kilolink server, it will us talk about Kilolink technology, as Kilolink is the technology to make sure our bonding service is fast, secure, and reliable. As we all know, Kilolink is the technology that connects all the Kiloview products, and with Kilolink, we can easily bond all the available networks, sending data and also doing the device management, just like our Kilolink server free. It can manage all the Kiloview products. As Kilolink is based on IUDP transmission technology, Kilolink offers the network transmission much better than any of the traditional TCP protocol. Together with the Kiloview optimized algorithms such as congestion control and adaptive bit rates, it can maximize the usable bandwidth to ensure the maximum performance with redundancy. And the Kilolink supports automatic bandwidth balance. So even if any of the connection, the bandwidth fluctuates, Kilolink will automatically balance the bandwidth load within 100 milliseconds to make sure the stable connection. And we will also encrypt the data with TLS 1.3, the technology to make sure the transmission safety. And the most important part is, we provide it for free. So you can simply run your own cloud-based server on either AWS or whatever, or maybe you can have, if you own a physical server, then you can use your self-hosted server to do the bonding, and it's very cost-effective, and the data for transmission and for the streaming can all be managed by yourself, so it will be very safe. And then let's take a look of how Kilolink server for bonding looks like, and then you will see what you can do with the bonding server. First, you can see from the UI, of course, there will be a dashboard showing the devices, and here you can see we can directly connect to the device UI, and then you can check all those parameters, string configurations, and if you click any of the device, and then you can check the link status, and also you can directly showing, we can showing you the bit rate and all those kind of things. And of course, if you want to enter for the stream service, you can directly click stream service, and you can just, for example, if you want to do a video live streaming to your YouTube account with RTMP, then simply you can just create a stream service, add RTMP, and get your address, and then we can go live. Or if you want to transmit remotely, then you can also set up your SRT stream, and then you can set the bit rates, and all the settings can be synchronized with the P series. So that's very easy. Next, I will, of course, introduce you the working mechanism. From this diagram, you can see that the P series itself first will capture the SDI or HDMI video, then we will encode it to H.264 codec, and then sending the data via different networks, either if you are connecting with 4G or even 3G or Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and then all the data will be sending to the Kilolink server, and the Kilolink server will receive all the data and get back to H.264 data, and then we will wrap with different protocols like RTMP or IPSP or UDP, SRT. So directly you can stream to your different destinations, or you can even send it directly to the decoders to get it back to SDI and the HDMI. Actually, you know, our D300 or whatever decoders can receive all those videos streaming from the fields. You don't need any specific device to debonding or whatever. So that's very simple. And the next part will be a little bit more technical and detailed, as I will talk some, maybe some of the questions about your main concern questions regarding the bonding technology. First, we will talk about the most frequently asked question, how does bonding work? So how does bonding work? You know, the whole process is following what we previously introduced in the diagram. The data after encoding will go through different networks. So the first step, of course, all the network will establish a kind of connection with our Kilolink server by Kilolink. Of course, when connecting, the first step we will need to verify if the devices, the network connections is well registered, and the connection will go through different networks one by one with all the selected network types. And if one of the network failed to connect, and then of course further it will reconnect every second. And each frame of the video from the after encoding will first be separated in small data packages, and also we will do the encryption to make sure of the safety, and we will send it in sequence. And at the receiving side, you know, all the data will be received, and then will decrypt, and then the server will do the bonding to get the data processed and with the sending sequence, and then the data will be returned back to every frame of the video, and then you will see the videos at your receiving side. And of course, there will be some situations like, you know, data maybe not received, which will need to be resent because of the network jitter or whatever, package loss, and maybe the data will receive but is not in sequence. Then of course the Kilolink will handle everything automatically, and maybe for the details I will explain it a little bit later. I probably guess you will also want to know how Kilolink can detect the network connection ability and the status. Actually, you know, Kilolink adopted the BBR technology, the BBR network congestion algorithm. The system will regularly sending out some data packages to the server, and we will use the sending data and the acknowledge to calculate the RTT, the round trip time. And also, of course, we will get to know the bandwidth of each connection, the pacing rate, the C-wing. C-wing actually is a kind of parameter to control the data sending process. To, you know, altogether they can test the network ability, and thus we can adjust how fast we need to send the data. And if we need to adjust the bandwidth to make sure the streaming will be smooth without any congestion or any issues. As we previously mentioned, Kilolink is based on RUDP. So altogether with like BBR mechanism, we can make sure the Kilolink is working reliably without any problem. And then we know there are also a lot of questions asking what will Kilolink do if there is any data losing, or you know, the data received not in the correct sequence. So actually in the transmission process, we will it will give the data packages in the sequence number. From this image, probably you didn't see it clearly, but actually we put some numbers to just trying to explain it for you. So for example, for each packages, we will number it with 1 or 2 or 3, so there will be a kind of a sequence. And for each data, we will also have a kind of unique offset, which is also a factor to be connected with the original sequence of each data package. And then when sending the data, if it will also get a kind of buffer area and the backup the area. Theoretically, if we send the data in order, and the receiving server will also receive all those data in order, and they will send back a kind of acknowledge to tell the sending parts that the data is well received and you don't need to send me again. But then the data in the backup area will be deleted. But if the network failed, and then the receiving side didn't get acknowledged in certain time, and then the sending party will need to resend all those data with the unique offset from the backup area. So all those data carrying the lost data, and then it will be resent to the Kilolink server automatically with the original sequence, and of course they will have the unique offsets, and then they will returning the whole frame of the data, and of course output the correct video. So the whole process is like this. We will need to send, but if the data didn't receive, and then we will tell the sending the encoder party to send the backup data, and then until the Kilolink server receive all the data and getting acknowledged, and then the frame of the video will get back. And the next question is, probably you will also ask, how would be the latency look like? Actually, this is really a question. We have to say, the latency will all depends on the network situation. If the network condition is good, and we can make sure, all the data we need to send in the buffer area can be sent reliably, and all can be received from the Kilolink server parts, then the latency could be super low. And you can notice there will be a buffer time, on the Kilolink server, so you can set it by yourself. When the network is not good, probably, if the buffer time is setting too short, then definitely the data in the buffer area will not finish the sending while, the buffer time is up, and then all the data will be cleared, and then you probably cannot receive the whole image. But at that time, we will suggest to you, to increase the buffer time, and then we can make sure all the data will be sending to the receiving party, and make sure the video will be returned, and then the video will, of course, will be smooth and fluent. And then you will probably also ask how we can get to know the network conditions, and that's to adjust the data sending through different connections. The logic is like this. If the network didn't receive the acknowledge in a certain time, then we will think that specific network link is not accessible. And then when sending the data next time, we will automatically give that link a lower priority, and then we will not choosing that link to send the data. But of course, the system will keep detecting the network every second, and if then we can get the IP again, we will add the link to the available network list, and then of course then we will give the priority to that link again. But if it's still not available, then we will just keep using the rest list of the networks. And if all the connections are very weak with very low bandwidth, how we can guarantee the stable transmission? Probably you will also ask, will you automatically adjust the bitrate? The answer is definitely yes. the system will automatically calculate if the bandwidth is higher than the set bit rate, and then it will also send data with the setting bit rates. But if the calculating network bandwidth is lower than what we set with the bit rate for the live streaming, then we will automatically lower the bit rate of the video to fit the bandwidth. And if we tell a little bit of the details, it will be like this. If we are sending both mainstream and the substream at the same time, and if the bandwidth is not enough, then we will first lower the substream, and then every 100 milliseconds, we will also calculate the sending status and make sure the data caching situation in the buffer area will be detected, and then we can make sure there's no cache. And if the bandwidth recovers, and then of course we will increase the bit rate. So first we will decrease, and after that we will increase. Just every 100 milliseconds we will detect and calculate and adjust that. So the next part is how to choose a suitable server to run the Kilolink. Of course, as we previously introduced, actually, for the data processing for the Kilolink is not very high CPU required. So all the general servers will work, and the main factor we will need to consider is about the bandwidth. We will need to see how many P-series, how many encoders you will need to connect with the server, and what would be the bit rate you are going to set and choose, and then you can choose the correct server according to your real situation. And the next question, I think that will be really interesting. What we are going to do next with the P-series. Currently, I know you may have a lot of ideas or suggestions for us with our P-series. Actually, you are always welcome to type your suggestions, your ideas, how we should make the unit here in the chat window. And then you can also email us with your ideas or suggestions. And generally, what we will do next with the P-series, we will cover it from 3 aspects. First is from the hardware parts. Previously, as I mentioned, this P-series actually was built, designed 4 or 5 years ago. So the hardware itself has some kind of limits. So we are now having the plan to update the P-series to be more powerful. So from the hardware parts, we will need to redesign it. So first we will have the version that will take both SDI and HDMI in up to 4K, H.264 and H.265, of course, and further we will even support not only 4G but also 5G. And this product is already in our products roadmap, in our plan, and in Q4 we will start testing all those products, and I believe very soon you will see our new products. And for the software functions, we have the plan to support NDI. It's already, as the Kilolink server currently is running on cloud, so that means it has the public IP. So we are going to support NDI HX with our Kilolink server. But NDI is not license free, so the way will be, if you want to use NDI with our P-series, you will need a kind of activation code to use the NDI HX string, which will, the activation code will be available from NDI.TV /marketplace. That will come in September. So it's really, a very powerful function and very amazing. So that means, you know, with our P series, you can directly get the video in the field with your local production systems without any other devices or software systems. The Kilolink server itself can work as a kind of NDI bridge. And the next part, of course, what we are going to update next is about the deployments. We understand currently, you know, the deployment is probably a little bit hard for some of our customers because it's with the Linux and the Docker technology. And we always appreciate our, appreciate your suggestions to make it easier. So with our development platform upgrade further, we will surely upgrade the way to set the server up. Either we can provide you a kind of Windows executive file to just directly install the server based on Windows, or maybe even Mac systems, and we will surely that will surely become true. Everything will be easy and just one click. And of course, we will keep improving all the existing products, and we hear your voice. Kiloview will never give up innovating, and so that's generally the information about, you know, the P series. And after introducing so many details and also so many technical issues, then let's take a look of the P series in live. I will connect my, okay, let me see. I'll connect my mobile phone with our KS system, and you can see here already Carol from our marketing team is with our P series connecting to the bonding server in our office. So her P series actually is connected with the KS system, and then I can talk to her directly. Now let me connect with Carol and ask her to introduce a little bit about the whole workflow, and then we can see the image quality, the latency. Hi, Carol. Could you please say hello to everyone and tell us where you are now?
Hi Judy, hi everyone. This is Carol from Kiloview. We are now at Star World today. This is a new shopping mall in southern part of Changsha. Some of you guys may have already know that Changsha is our city and also the capital city of Hunan province in the central part of China. Around me there are so many famous brands you can see here. Some of them you might be familiar with, such as Burberry, Yves Saint Laurent, Giorgio Armani, Lancome, and so on, Judy.
Okay, great. Thank you for the introduction. I believe that must be fun. I can see it's inside of the shopping mall. So, could you please tell us how is the network condition there?
Well, from the mobile phone network, some of the carriers performs really nicely, while some of the carriers is not very stable.
Okay, Carol. Can you also show us the P series in working condition and also tell us the whole workflow, please?
So you can see here, our setup today is like this. What you see from Zoom is going through our JVC camera connected with our P1 by SDI. You can see the interface here. And we are inputting 2 SIM cards using different providers here. The bitrate is set to 4 Mbps, 1080p60. Meanwhile, we enabled Kilolink. So the video goes to Kilolink server in setting in our office and then stream to OBS. Then after the OBS production, it will output NDI to Zoom. So this is all our setup today, only with the P and the JVC camera, which is really easy yet powerful.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. That's very cool setup, and thank you so much for sharing us the information. Let's just keep the video on for a while, and then we can bring the web UI of the Kilolink server here, and then you can see the real-time UI from our Kilolink server, and then you can check the bitrate and also you can check the preview video there. So actually, from the image quality, you can see everything is quite clear, and from the web UI of the Kilolink server, then everything seems to be very stable, and you can see, as we said, the bitrate, everything seems to be quite good. We are not quite sure if you check the video from Zoom, if everything is good, because sometimes, Zoom will probably compress the video a little bit. But if you are interested to see more of the P series, then we can further arrange a live streaming on YouTube for you, and then you can check it. Okay, then talking too much about the technical details, then it comes to the exciting moments. We are going to send you the gifts. The gifts we are providing for the first round is 3 units of the C1 minis, and we provide, not only good video encoders, video decoders, NDI converters, where at the same time, we have very good video encoders, the SDI to HDMI 1 or HDMI to SDI 1. And, actually we are putting a question here, and, the game is like this. You can just put the correct answer in the chat window, and we will choose the first 3 lucky ones who give us the correct answer, and then you will get the C1 mini. You can further just drop the contact information, and also our couriers will contact you to send you the free gifts. The question actually is quite simple, and the more you know about Kiloview, the easier you can get the prize. So the question is, choose the correct one about the features of the P series. Perfect for outdoor live streaming, and B, up to 5 connections bonding, or C, voice intercom supported, and D, all of the above. And that is quite obvious, I think, and I can see there are quite a lot of answers, and it seems everyone is giving us the correct answer. So our couriers will choose we'll find out who are the lucky ones, and congratulations. But for the one you didn't get the prize this time, then don't worry, you still have the second chance to win a P2. So please just stay with us, and if you can also share the webinar to the other people, and ask them to join our webinar and win the giveaways. And the last part is talking about the IBC. Finally we will be back at IBC after 3 years, and we can't wait to see you all. We'll be at Hall 7B60, showcasing our whole ecosystem designed in our roadmap, while at the same time we'll bring some interesting products. So the first product I'm going to introduce, and that we were also going to show at IBC, is the Cube series. So you can see here I'm putting it just in front of me, the Cube series. We have the Cube R1 and the Cube X1. So Cube R1 is actually the hardware version of the NDI recorder, and the Cube X1 is the hardware version of the NDI core. Actually, we released the software systems quite a while ago, but we just realized to use those software systems, there are a lot of factors that might be affected, and the result and the user experience probably will be also, such as, for the installation, the hardware performance, and even the compatibility. So further, we are thinking how to solve those problems, and I think it will be easier to provide a kind of turnkey solution and make it just a plug and play. And that's the reason we designed the Cube series. So with the Cube series, you can easily just experience how perfect all those software systems are. You can see if we put all those two units together, both of the units are exactly the same size, and they are just a half size of the 2U rack mount design. And also we will further provide a kind of frame to hold two units together, and then you can easily mount it in the rack systems. And you can see from the front, both of the units have a 5.5 touch screen to either display the preview video or show the real-time status, and also you can do the basic settings. And on the right side, there are also physical buttons to do some of the quick settings and the switching. And both of the units have the design of redundant power supply. So I just turn it to show you, and we're just trying to make it work reliably. And at the back, you can also see we got the HDMI ports. So that means not only you can check the video from the check the preview image from the front screen, the touch screen. You can also extend the video through the HDMI, and then we can display it on the big screen. And of course, both the touch screen and the HDMI output can with different contents. Just like we preview the video on the monitor while showing the status on the small screen. And there are also two USB ports here. There would be, they can support keyboard and the mouse connection for convenient operation. And they both have Ethernet, as well as the SFP modules, two SFP modules to adapt the network conditions flexibly. And also there are, the cooling design here from the structure parts. We're just trying to make sure the units can working continuously. And both of the units can support any types of the NDI inputs, either is NDI or NDI HX from Kiloview products or not from Kiloview products, hardware or software, and with any resolution up to 4K P60. And of course, for the Cube R1, we can support up to 9 channels of the video recording simultaneously with 1 or 4 or 9 grids for preview. And for the recording, we support different types of the storage like SSD or USB or ME. And here you can see we have a kind of unique design of the NVMe module to adapt all the SSD types on the markets. And also there will be a lock, so we can lock it or we can unlock it. So there will be a kind of lock, and there will also be indicators here to make sure, the reliability and also showing the status. And there will be a kind of Type-C port, so you can easily connect the NVMe to your computer to copy the files for the further editing. And just let me unlock it, and then I can take it out. So this actually, as we have two SSD supports, and they can also support hot swapping, so we can make sure the recording is non-stop. And there will be also quick buttons, so we can start or stop the recording. We can go back to the home, and also we can play all the recording files easily just through the screen, and we can preview that. And then we can talk about the Cube X1. For the Cube X1, it actually supports up to 16 channels of the NDI input and the 32 outputs. Different with the NDI routers you probably know on the market, the Cube X1 can actually establish the connection with the NDI sources directly. So that means each of the NDI inputs can get 32 outputs without the limit of the NDI source itself. So for example, if you have the NDI source coming from a video encoder, if not through any of our NDI core or the NDI X1, then directly there will be only about 3 destinations connecting with that source directly. But if you go through the NDI core or our NDI X1, then we can support up to 32 or even more connections. And of course, you know, the switching between the sources can be seamless, and we can even preset the playlist to realize the automatic switching with the you know, all those sources setting previously. And of course, the switch control panels can be self-defined. The buttons in front can quickly support the operations with input or output sources, and during the switching and indicating the status of each source will also be displayed here. You may also notice, you know, as the hardware we're using is powerful enough, so with the Cube series, we can even display the input sources with preview, and on the web UI of the products, with the preview video is also available. But, you know, in our previous NDI core, that is not supported. So we can make the operation and also the user experience much better. And all those designs are just plug and play, so it's quite convenient and reliable for customers. And further, of course, we will even support the other models. You know, we will have the NDI multi-view version and even the Kilolink server version. So please just keep following us. And the next part is about the LinkDeck series. You know, in our roadmap, you probably have noticed we have the control parts which can easily control the Kiloview software systems anytime, anywhere, including our NDI core, the NDI multi-view, the NDI recorder, the KIS system, the Kilolink server, and even the cameras. So that is the LinkDeck series too. And altogether, you know, there will be 5 modules. This is the panel deck, which is the main control units. And we will have the other ones like this is the KIS deck. So you can see here, this is the KIS deck, and then we have another one, the take deck. So this is the take deck. And we'll also have the PTZ deck here. This is the PTZ deck, and also we will have the Zoom deck. So altogether, there will be 5 units, and all those modules can work together, or they can also work independently. So for the users, they can easily just control which product to they can add and also define which product to control. So with the panel deck, you know, there will be a kind of 10.1 inch touch screen, and based on the web technology, you know, all the edits and the configured products will be displayed on the left part of the UI, and then you can choose which product to control. And the control of the product can be either through the physical buttons here or through the touch screen. So there will be also the software buttons. The software buttons, yes. And for the KIS deck, you know, this is actually used to control our KIS systems for the intercom function. So we can easily mute or unmute, or we can talk to the group, and also we can adjust the volume and connect with the microphone and all those functions. And these 2 units, you know, the main deck and the KIS deck, can all supports PoE with 1 gigabit network, so you can see here. And for the others, like the Take deck, the PTZ deck, and the Zoom deck, they can also work together with our multi-view. So if you choose the multi-view product to control through our main deck and then the panel deck, and then you can connect all those 3 through USB to the panel deck. And then, of course, well, for the multi-view products we can use when it's in the preview mode. Then we can adjust the cameras or just take all those kind of effects or presets, everything, and then do the quick take. Specifically, for the take deck, of course, it can realize the take control for preview program, and then we can also do the quick switching. We can just one press, and then we can do every kind of take presetting and even the fading effects. And for the PTZ deck here, it's for PTZ cameras control, including, like either the color control, the tuning, iris, and all those kind of things. And there will also be a joystick here. And for the zoom deck, of course, it's just to switch the preset positions, zoom in and out. And further, of course, we will even provide the interfaces for customers to they can customize their own plugins to control whether the products can be controlled. Either, no matter what kind of products they want to control, either is OBS or vMix or even like TriCaster, they can just compile the interface with the third party. They can integrate the API, and then, that's what we are just trying to do with all those decks. We can control every product. And the last product I would like to introduce is our D350. So for the customers who are familiar with Kiloview, probably you might have noticed that, we have the D300, and that was quite powerful, but because of the supply issue, we got quite a lot of pressure, and now we are using a totally different SoC, the chipsets, which can do the same function with the D300, but it's even more powerful. What we are upgrading with the D350 is, we are getting a LCD screen, the display, a very small display, but it's very helpful. We can show the basic IP, the status information, and that means, for the users, they don't need to log into the web UI. They don't need to put stickers with the IP here. They can directly check it. And the biggest update will be, it can even support all types of the NDI, including NDI high bandwidth, that is also called full NDI, NDI HX2, and the latest NDI HX3. So that will be more functional, and we call this all-in-one decoder. And for the decoding abilities, everything would be the same. We can support up to 9 channels of 1080p decoding, either in multi-view or separate windows, or we can support, for 4 channels of 4K-P30 decoding, or 2 channels 4K-P60 decoding, H.265 and the H.264. And we have both SDI and HDMI outputs, and for HDMI can support up to 4K-P60. And of course, the difference with our previous D300 is it's going to have 2 HDMI ports. So altogether, there will be 3 interfaces for the outputting, and that means you can output up to 2 different videos through all those 3 interfaces. And also we can support the protocols like SRT, RTMP, or RTSP, or UDP, HLS, and NDI, as we mentioned, all can be supported. As this is actually a kind of a mature product that we have on the market for quite a long time, so I will not talk too much about it, but if you are interested, you can just refer to our website. And of course, if you have any questions, please just leave your questions in the Q&A window, and let me see if there will be any questions that I can help you with. Let me see. So we know Okay, I can see there are some of the questions probably already answered, but I will also choose some of the questions that might be interesting for all of you. How about H.265 with our P series? As I mentioned, this is already planned in our product plans, and in Q4 we are going to design this product, and we will release it very soon. And the P series can support 4G connectivity, and it says 4G on the case. Yes, currently, we have the internal modems, so the current P series can only support 4G because we only got the 4G modems for the internal ones. But for 5G, currently we can support one external 5G modem, and further with our updates, we will of course support 5G internally, and that will require a kind of hardware updates. It's not just directly updating with the existing products, but you will need to buy a new products. And as I can also see, are the Cube series rack mountable? Yes, exactly. As I mentioned, if we put two units together, there will be definitely a 2U rack mount product, and we will provide you the frame, and with the frame you can directly fix all those two units in the 2U frame, and then it's rack mounts suitable. You can just fit it with the rack mounts, the rack. And for the LinkDeck, for the other products, will it be possible to use it with a vertical video? I think that will be, of course, that will be available. With that product, as we mentioned, it's just using a kind of web technology. So for all those different functions, we will be very open. We will open all everything, and even you can directly compile your own control, and you can set the functions you want to control. And for D350, how many audio can it manage? Yes, we know audio issue is always, it's always quite important for customers. But previously, with our D300, we didn't notice that, I will have to say. So with the hardware limit, the D300 can only support 2 channels of the audio, but with the new product, we will definitely support more audios. But I'm not quite sure if we can support 4 or 8 channels. We will further check with the product team and then get back to you. And do you support external Wi-Fi dongle for dual Wi-Fi link? Do you mean, you will have a kind of dual Wi-Fi router, and then can our P series support that? If you are checking with that, then definitely yes, but I'm not quite sure if I understand you correctly, and if not, then please just let me know, and of course, or you can even email me, and I will get back to you with the correct answer. I will try my best. So currently I know we talked quite a lot, and as time is limited, then probably we just come to the next parts. There will also be very exciting moments. We are going to just give the second round of giveaways, and this time we are going to send a P2. So it will be the same rule, just type your answers here, and we will choose the one who gives us the answer first, and you will win the P2. The question is, what is Kiloview's slogan? As I mentioned, the more you know about Kiloview, the easier you can get the gift. So the answer, there will be A, leading solution provider of video transmission, B, leading solution provider of NDI video transmission, C, leading solution provider of IP-based video transmission, and D, leading solution provider of SRT video transmission. I can see everyone is typing C, and then definitely the correct answer is C. So congratulations for the one who typed C first, and you will win a P2. You can just leave us the contact information, or you can email us with info@kiloview.com, and my colleagues will just get back to you and will send you the P2. Again, congratulations to the lucky one. Thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you for your support to Kiloview. You know, happy time is always short. I'm really glad to stay with you and sharing you quite a lot of the information about our P series and also our new products. I know there will be still a lot of questions about Kiloview or about the new products. Please just feel free to keep contacting us, or you can follow us on our social media. You can email us either to me directly with judy@kiloview.com, or you can contact our support team if you have any technical questions. We will try our best to help you. And you know, if you are also coming to IBC, then please do come to visit us at Hall 7B60, and I will be there. I will look forward to meeting you. So thank you so much for today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.